It was just after midnight on a quiet stretch of Highway 54 in Kansas. The world outside was silent, painted in silver moonlight and shadows. The road stretched for miles with nothing but the hum of engines and distant stars. Tom Walker, a 46-year-old truck driver, had been hauling goods for nearly 12 hours. He was tired, hungry, and ready to stop at the next diner. But then, he saw something in the middle of the road. At first, he thought it was a piece of trash. Then, as his headlights swept across it, he saw it move. A small brown dog, trembling, lying on the asphalt. Tom slammed the brakes. The trailer hissed behind him as the truck came to a stop. He jumped out and ran toward the dog. The animal tried to lift its head but whimpered softly. Tom knelt beside him and whispered, "Hey there, buddy. You hurt?" When he looked closer, he saw the problem. The dog's mouth was swollen, drooling with blood. He was in pain. Maybe hit by a car, maybe something worse. Tom sighed and said, "Hang in there, pal. You're not dying on this road tonight." He gently wrapped the dog in his flannel jacket and carried him to the truck. Tom laid the dog on the passenger seat and turned the heater up. The animal trembled, his eyes half closed. Tom grabbed his phone and searched for the nearest 24-hour animal hospital. The GPS said 57 miles ahead, Wichita Pet Emergency. He looked at the dog and muttered, "All right, buddy. Guess we're making a detour." He drove through the empty highway, one hand on the wheel, one hand gently petting the dog's head. Every few minutes, he whispered, "Stay with me, boy. You're gonna be okay." The dog whimpered again, but this time leaned his head on Tom's arm. Somewhere near mile marker 42, rain began to fall. Soft at first, then heavy. The windshield wipers clicked rhythmically as Tom pushed through the storm, his truck's headlights cutting through the darkness like twin beacons of hope. By the time they reached Wichita, dawn was breaking, golden light spilling over the horizon. Tom's eyes were tired, but his heart was steady. He parked in front of the clinic and carried the dog inside. Inside the emergency clinic, a young veterinarian named Dr. Monroe rushed over. "What happened?" she asked. Tom explained quickly, voice shaking slightly. "Found him on the highway. He couldn't move. Something's wrong with his jaw. He's in pain." The vet nodded and took the dog from his arms. They placed him on the table, checked his vitals, and confirmed. His mouth was badly infected from a broken tooth that had caused an abscess. The infection had spread. He wouldn't have survived the night. Tom stood in silence, watching through the window as the team worked. Hours passed. Finally, Dr. Monroe came out smiling. "He's gonna make it," she said softly. "You saved his life." Tom exhaled deeply for the first time in hours. "Can I see him?" When he walked in, the little dog was resting, a bandage around his snout. His tail wagged weakly when he saw Tom. Tom smiled and whispered, "Told you we'd make it, buddy." 3 days later, the vet cleared the dog to leave. Tom paid the bill without hesitation. When the nurse asked if he wanted to surrender him to a shelter, he shook his head. "Nope," he said. "He's got a new ride now." From that day forward, the dog, now named Rusty, rode in the passenger seat of Tom's truck everywhere he went. Rusty would rest his head out the window, ears flapping in the wind while Tom laughed and turned up the radio. Soon, other drivers began spotting them across the Midwest, a trucker and his loyal dog on endless roads. People online started calling them highway heroes. One evening, a diner waitress asked, "So, Tom, why'd you save him?" He smiled and said, "Because sometimes the only thing lonelier than the road is a soul waiting for someone to care." As the truck rolled into the sunset, the words painted across the back of his trailer said it all. Rusty and Tom, 2 lives, 1 road. And for every traveler who passed them on the highway, the message was clear. Heroes don't always save people. Sometimes, they save the ones who can't speak at all.